Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live with Heather Vickery. I'm your host, Heather Vickery, and I'm excited to be here with you today. So, for those of you who are new, I am a transformation coach. And a community builder. What I do is I help people like you who are thoughtful, conscious leaders learn to lead from embodied joy, to embrace bravery, right? The goal is not to be fearless in life, it is to be brave in the face of the things that we fear, because fear is a normal, natural human emotion. We all experience fear. And in some cases, fear can save our lives. It's informative, but it is also something we often just sort of need to tuck into our pocket and move on with, regardless of whatever the fear is. But that you can learn a lot from your fear. So I've actually written a book. It's called Fuck Fearless, Making the Brave Leap. Here it is. If anybody's curious, you can get that on my website, which is vickeryandco.com. This is where I break down the BRAVE method. And the BRAVE method is my creative, strategic approach to dreaming, designing, building, and actually having a life that you are madly in love with. BRAVE is an acronym, BRAVE. We'll start with the E. I'll tell you what that is. It is the result, the expansion and empowerment. When you practice the BRAVE method, when you show up for yourself, when you get to know yourself honestly and authentically and live in your best interest, right? Live aligned, live in a way that feels good to you, then you get to embrace your fear, right? You get to embrace bravery. You get to have a life that you love. You get to embody joy more easily. You get to make the impact that you want to make on the world. So, expansion and empowerment inside work. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can give it to you. You are the only one that can expand or empower yourself. What do the rest of the letters in the BRAVE method stand for? Well, the B stands for boundaries. R stands for what I call the 3 R's: reassessment, reframing, and resilience. That is the meat. It really is. Reassessment, reframing, and resilience. Looking at what is happening, taking radical responsibility for yourself in every situation. That sounds intense, I know, but it works, right? Because neurologically, so I'm certified in NLP and subconscious reprogramming. I'm certified in positive psychology, and all of the science shows us repeatedly that when we can look at a situation objectively and say, okay, here's what's happening here. Who do I want to be in this moment? How do I want to behave? How do I want to shift? What is the only thing in the world you can control? You got it. Yourself, your own thoughts, choices, actions, and behavior. That's taking radical responsibility for yourself. And with the BRAVE method, then you apply that with reassessment, reframing, and resilience. What happened? What did I learn from it? What do I want to do next? Then BRA, action and accountability. Nothing works unless you do. Nothing changes unless you decide to change it and to change yourself. And then V is vulnerability. Sometimes I call that authenticity, but it didn't work with my acronym. Vulnerability and authenticity. Vulnerability, as the famed Brene Brown says, requires boundaries, right? Strong back, soft front. I love that visual. So the work that I do is I help conscious leaders just like you learn to lead from embodied joy, to take that brave leap, to embrace their fear and take that brave leap. And we are talking about creating a life that is joyful, that is fun, that is full of yes energy. And in order to do that, we often have to unfollow the rules. We have to break the rules. We have to call bullshit on all of the stuff that's been set up for people who are not us. They don't serve you. Again, we go back to those 3 R's: reassessment, reframing, and resilience. If you are actively doing that, if you are actively being intentional and aware of not only what's happening in your life and around you, but how you interact with those things, then you can decide what rules are for you and what rules aren't for you, what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, right? So in many cases, we have to unravel. We have to unwire. We have to take things apart so that we can either keep elements that we want to keep or ditch the whole thing, start back over. But you won't know unless you do that reflective piece, unless you really get honest with yourself. And that can be a very scary thing, because we are often in a situation where we don't sure we want to know the answers. That right? Like, what will you discover if you do that internal investigation. We've built these walls around ourselves for so long. We have protected ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our souls, our families, our loved ones for so long. What happens if we really look into whether or not this thing is working? The way we're doing this is actually working. Hey, Danielle, how are you, love? But I promise you that it is worth it. And I promise you that it works. Taking the time to reflect and reassess. Who do I want to be in this moment? What do I want for myself? Also, y'all, so many of the rules in today's society aren't built for you. Why follow them? Let me share a really fun random story. When one of my daughters, I have 4 daughters, my third daughter was in 3rd grade. So this is a bunch of 8th graders. They were doing a math problem, and they each had their own little dry board. And the math problem was they had to come up with their own equation to solve for the day of the month that it was. So all these 12 kids, they come up with their own equation. They go around the room. They share their equation. They all got the same answer because that was the goal. And the teacher said, "What did you guys notice about your math equations?" And the kids said that they were all different. Every kid used a different strategy to solve for the same answer. And the teacher said, "Now, what does that tell you?" And these 3rd graders said that there are lots of ways to solve a problem. That is the fucking answer right there. Like, that is it. And as adults, we become so in the binary, so blinded by all of the other possibilities. We think it has to be done one way in order for it to be good enough, for it to be right, or in order for us to feel successful, or to experience joy, or to actually be happy, or to actually make money, or have a life that we love. We think it has to be exactly one way, but it does not have to be exactly one way. In fact, I call bullshit on it completely. It can be a million different ways. Your job is to practice the BRAVE method: boundaries, reassessment, reframing, resilience, action, accountability, vulnerability, so that you can expand and empower. That's your job, so that you can find other ways to solve the problem, ways that work with you and for you and take you where you want to go in a way that feels good to you. You have the right to choose a path that feels good to you. Maybe that's the news flash you needed today. You have the right to choose a path that feels good to you, that honors you, that lifts you up, that supports you. You get to do that. You get to do that. And in order to do it, we have to unfollow, unsubscribe to the rules that everybody else has put in front of you that says it has to be like this. You have to do this. You have to behave this way. And look, we can unpack that a little if you'd like. Some people will say, do these 5 things and you'll be successful. Well, those 5 things might have worked for them, but they might not work for you. You may get very different results. It's important to recognize that. Or that women should behave one way. How often do we get that nag thing? Oh, she's a nag. Oh, she's a bitch, right? Because we push back, because we ask questions, because we share our ideas, right? That is bullshit. That is some societal programming. Those are some rules that don't need to apply to you. And then we make meaning. We make meaning of how people respond and react. And then we behave in certain ways because of the meaning we've made. I was working with a client the other day. Like I said, I'm NLP certified, so subconscious reprogramming. We were doing subconscious reprogramming around releasing anger and sadness and fear from their timeline, from their past history, from the generational history, right? From past lives, all of that, because it patterns on. And somehow we carry into the future and pass down to our own children the ideas that we have to behave a certain way, or that we have to atone for other people's sins, right? You have to do the best thing for yourself in this moment. And releasing subconscious reprogramming is beautiful, beautiful work, whether we're doing hypnotherapy, parts, time techniques, EFT tapping, subliminal audios, all of that. Choosing to do subconscious reprogramming is a gift, because it's you consciously saying that you're willing to unconsciously get rid of all of the blocks, the limiting decisions, the feelings, the emotions, the memories that are sabotaging you right now. That's a beautiful way to unfollow the rules, or as I like to call it, break the rules. Like, fuck that shit. We don't have to do that, right? If mindset alone could get you where you wanted to go, you would already be there. We all know that that's true. If mindset alone could get you where you wanted to go, you would already be there. So, first, mindset is important. You have to decide, I don't want this anymore. I'm not picking this anymore. I want to choose something different. And then you have to take intentional action towards how to take radical self responsibility for that change. And subconscious reprogramming is one of the ways to do that. Here's what's really cool about unfollowing the rules, breaking the rules, creating your own rules, is that you then become a beacon of light for other people to see hope and possibility for how they can show up, how they can build a life that they love, how they can have success on their own terms, how it's good enough to show up as yourself and trust the process and speak your mind and put yourself out there. You are a mentor for other conscious leaders when you choose that route. That's a gift you give everybody. And the more you do it, the more the energy, the vibration rises, the higher everybody gets, the more we all succeed, the more joy we all experience. And let me tell you something really important. Joy is a form of revolution. And especially right now, when there are people out there who want to actively sabotage your joy, they want to make you so miserable that you won't fight back. No. Do not comply. Do not accept that answer. Your joy is a revolution. Yes, we have to fight. Yes, we have to show up. Yes, we have to do the things, but you also have to prioritize joy and self-care and self-love in this moment. It's one of the reasons that I do the community building I do. So if you have just 10 or 15 minutes a day, a couple times a week, I invite you to come and join me inside the Spark Collective, which is a community of conscious leaders who are looking to grow their self-awareness, self-love, self-compassion, intuition, and learn to lead from embodied joy in just a few minutes a day, a couple times a week. That is the Spark Collective. It's $18 a month, y'all. You can find that link on my website. It is so powerful. It is so beautiful. And you have to have a little self-motivation, right, to show up. But once you do, there's a community of people to love you and hold you. I always say that there are no safe spaces. There are only safe people. And I only engage with safe people. I only let safe people into my community, right? So know that I am bringing that energy into the room. I am bringing that level of safety into the room. We have vetted. We care about humanity. We are humanists first. We believe in the power of coming together as a community, of lifting each other up, of sharing that energetic vibration. I have the $18 a month Spark Collective. If you are not already in the Spark Collective, do yourself a favor and come say yes. The link is in my bio, or send me a DM wherever you're watching this, right? Or comment here wherever you're watching this, and I will let you know how to get it. If you are in Chicago or the Chicagoland area, I host an event called the Chicago Empower Breakfast, the second Friday of every month. And that is a beautiful way to grow your connection, grow your network, learn a little bit, just be in wonderful community space. And then if you're looking for something bigger, go with me to Costa Rica. I am inviting you to join me on a Reclaim Your Peace retreat in Costa Rica in January of 2026. 6 days, all inclusive, beautiful luxury resorts. It's just yummy. I'm actually going in 2 weeks to check it all out. I'm going to catch video footage. I'm going to do live footage so that you guys can see firsthand and I can experience firsthand all of the things that you're going to experience. But we are going to spend this time in community with rest, relaxation, time for ourselves, time to recalibrate, to reconnect, to reclaim our peace. We're going to do forest bathing and blue clay underneath a waterfall and compassionate inquiry and dance parties and fire experiences and cacao ceremonies and breath work. Like, oh my God, I cannot be more excited for the Costa Rica retreat. We still have some spaces available. If you are curious about that, let me know. We have quite a wide range of prices available. You can room by yourself. You can room with other people, make new friends. That would be cool. All of this is unfollowing the rules so that you can create a life that is fun, that is filled with joy, that you are actually excited to wake up to every day. And yes, we can do that even when we feel like the world around us is actively on fire, even when we feel like the things around us are designed to break us, we can be joyful. And we will win when we choose to be joyful and we choose to be in community and we choose to be in connection with people who we know care about our well-being and that they care about their own well-being. See, we can't give other people that which we cannot give ourselves, including joy, including love, including compassion, including care. If you can't give those things to yourself, you cannot give them to anyone else. We cannot be the humanists, the activists, the allies that we desire being if we don't also take care of ourselves. I am so grateful for all of you taking the time to be here to engage. I'm getting so much love over on TikTok right now. Thank you very, very, very much. It makes all the difference in the world. Those of you who are, well, TikTok, I'm going to stay after I closed out with everyone else. So stick around, don't go anywhere. But, liking, commenting, engaging, it makes a difference. You know what? It makes a difference to me. It validates me and the work I'm doing and being here in the space with you. But beyond that, it makes a difference to the people around you, because how often are you here engaging in community with me and you hear something that makes you feel seen or less alone? And then if you comment and you engage, then somebody else gets to see that they're not alone and feel seen and elevated and activated and connected. We need that more than ever right now. It's amazing. And I would love to see all of you inside the Spark Collective. At the bare minimum, come hang out in the Spark Collective, because I put my heart and soul into this community, and the people who are there are so deeply committed to their own internal growth and thus to the internal growth of the community at large. It's just a beautiful space to be in. Before I end the live on LinkedIn and YouTube, I'm going to pull a Create Brave card, and then I want to chat with you folks on TikTok for just a moment. Oh, you love traveling to beautiful places. Danielle, are you going to go to Costa Rica with us? Come on, babe. I love that. Please do it. So if you're not familiar, the Create Brave cards are a deck of manifestation cards that I co-created with my wonderful friend, Rachel Swanson. She's a creativity coach. I'm the Brave Method coach. And this is a deck of cards to help you think creatively and bravely about whatever is happening in your life, so that you can think out of the box on it. Remember that manifestation isn't declaring something and then it magically appears. Manifestation is declaring something and then shifting the way you show up in the world to make it happen. So with the Create Brave cards, you get a focus word and an affirmation. And then we also have a guidebook. I'm not going to read from the guidebook today, but it's like having coaches in your pocket, right? Breaking it down, explaining it, supporting you. And then there's an action that you can take, a Create Brave action that you can take. But my invitation to you today, when I share whatever the card is, and it jumped right out. Those of you who do cards, when you're shuffling the card that's meant for you, like, it makes itself very clear energetically. It's like, here I am. It's always on point. Commitment. So my invitation to you is to think about this word. What does commitment mean to you? What commitment are you maybe avoiding or putting off right now? What commitment have you committed to and you need to push yourself a little further? By showing up for myself and others, I build a firm foundation for success. Commitment. So sit with that word for a minute. Think about commitment and be honest with yourself. Reassessment, reframing, resilience. What do you feel when you hear the word commitment? What's showing up in your body? Where do you tingle? What truth do you know that maybe you have been avoiding when you think of a commitment? By showing up for myself and others, I build a firm foundation for success. Be honest with yourself and then take one intentional action from this and do that thing. If you like affirmation cards, oracle cards, all of that, grab a set of these Create Brave cards. Unfortunately, they're not available on the TikTok shop, but they are available on my website. And if you buy them from me, I'm going to give you a little gift. I'm going to put a little gift in your package. So that would be fun. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for being here, for showing up for yourself, for feeling my passion, for sharing my passion. We have to do this together. We have to do it on our own. We have to say yes to ourselves. We have to grow ourselves in order to do things together collectively. And the collective is what's going to save the world. It's what's going to save all of us. It's what's going to save humanity. And I want that for you. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in us. So I'm going to close it out here on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I'm going to say thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up for yourself. Remember today and every single day to go out and choose yourself bravely so that you can choose to do the things that you are here to do, that you can embrace your purpose and your passion and make a difference in the world around you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Central, unless I'm traveling. So, but I'll see you next week. We have a great show lined up for next week. I do host a podcast called Was It Chance? It's a podcast about taking intentional risk for creative success. You can find that anywhere you enjoy podcasts. Please go listen and join us in the Spark Collective. Join us in on the Costa Rica retreat. Let me know how I can support you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye. TikTok.